If I were to wager on who would be the first in the metaverse, I'd put my money on Microsoft. In reality, Microsoft has already crushed Zuckerberg's Metaverse before they even began, and it will not even need to make a VR device. This may seem absurd. After all, Zuckerberg is so committed to the Metaverse that he renamed his whole firm Meta in order to concentrate on the endeavor. At first glance, Zuckerberg seems to be in a good position here. Every day, billions of people use Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp to communicate with friends and family. He also owns the world's largest virtual reality business, Oculus VR. In 2021, the Oculus VR outsold the Xbox, but even though there are good reasons to think that Zuckerberg will be able to deliver, Microsoft isn't going to let him win. There are many compelling reasons why Microsoft will triumph against Zuckerberg in the Metaverse battle. So let's go over them one at a time, each with some facts. Let's start with gaming. Gaming is a terrific way to get started in the Metaverse, but things are about to become a lot wilder in the long haul. With the capacity to engage with millions of individuals in a single shared virtual space, these Metaverse experiences will get larger and more immersive. For years, Microsoft has been building a gaming empire, and it's about to become a tad bigger. In 2014, Microsoft paid $2.5 billion for Minecraft, $68.7 billion for Activision, and $7.5 billion for ZeniMax Media. And their acquisition has caused a lot of confusion about Microsoft, with many people believing that Microsoft intended to make these games exclusive to Xbox. Gamers would be forced to switch to Microsoft consoles as a result of this, but that was not the company's intended goal. Back in 2017, Microsoft introduced the Xbox Game Pass, which provided access to a variety of Microsoft games for a single monthly charge. It was essentially the Netflix concept. If Microsoft purchased a gaming company and then made those products exclusive to the Xbox, sales would plummet immediately. Activision's acquisition of Xbox makes the Xbox Game Pass more appealing and sticky, since players will now have access to all of that content for free, as long as they remain subscribed. With such incentives, Zuckerberg will find it tough to lure customers away from Microsoft. Zuckerberg has only established a few minor VR gaming efforts and has yet to purchase any of the major game firms. It's possible that he just doesn't think conventional gaming brands will adapt to the metaverse. And to be honest, this is a question that I'm not sure how to answer. However, if the metaverse develops from the gaming industry, Zuckerberg will be in tremendous trouble. People could utilize VR headsets to access the metaverse and enjoy VR experiences, but Microsoft will have a significant edge in defining how users interact with the metaverse. Gaming is not the only path to metaverse. There is another approach to the metaverse, and it is worthwhile to explore how personal computers ended up in every home. So most customers were uninterested in them when they were originally introduced to the public. Because these large, cumbersome devices were essentially glorified calculators, most people had little need for them at home, but they rapidly became vital at work. Companies provided computers to their staff in order to boost productivity. The intriguing thing was that after people were used to using computers at work, they wanted to use them at home as well. As the number of personal computers grew, so did the need for non-work applications, such as gaming. You may have purchased a home computer to write letters, but you'd soon want to play a game on it. It's conceivable that the metaverse may follow a similar route. For starters, your firm will purchase you a virtual reality headset so you can cooperate remotely with everyone else. Spending a few $100s is well worth it if it increases productivity even somewhat. Then it will be scattered to each home. Zuckerberg certainly believes in this vision and wants to make Horizon Workrooms the default application for virtual work. But will he be able to beat Microsoft to the punch? To be fair, Facebook introduced Workplace in 2016, so they aren't entirely new to the field. But Microsoft has been selling software to businesses since the 1970s, so there is a significant difference in experience here. Therefore, although Microsoft is still widely linked with the Windows desktop operating system, Satya Nadella has virtually shifted Microsoft's emphasis away from Windows and onto the cloud. So they created Teams. Most people think of Teams as a Slack copycat, and certainly design aspects are definitely similar, but Microsoft is intending something far greater with Teams. Teams begins with document sharing and video chat, essentially all of the standard business activities, and then gradually progresses into the deeper metaverse notions. And here is another area where Zuckerberg is being thrashed. There is another platform where Zuck might have an advantage. What do you think it is? If you consider a metaverse to be a type of mirror world where you can engage with data and programs in a more immersive manner, Microsoft may actually be the first to arrive. For example, Microsoft already offers a suite of technologies that allow businesses to build, known as digital twins. These are essentially virtual representations of tangible items, such as industrial equipment, but just having a 3D model of a facility is insufficient. Companies want to know what each piece of equipment is doing, how much energy the facility is using, and when the batch of items will be ready. Once real-time manufacturing data is synced with the digital twin, organizations can begin evaluating performance indicators and even building automated systems to boost efficiency even further. This is made feasible by augmented reality, such as Microsoft HoloLens, and here Meta is also falling far behind. So far, Microsoft is basically assaulting Zuckerberg on two fronts. They have a strong presence among corporate users and are rapidly expanding their gaming empire. Although he's taking a beating, Zuckerberg seems to be digging down on his strategy despite all the criticism. Microsoft may have planned its future ambitions, but forecasting the future is very difficult because it is possible to predict the future and yet to be unable to execute a successful plan, as was the case with Bill Gates. It was 1995, almost 3 decades ago, and Bill Gates was riding high, and everyone was purchasing PCs. Windows was changing the workplace, and Microsoft was on course to become the world's most valuable firm. So Bill stood on stage and sketched out what he felt would happen next, and this industry, with its software innovation, would be at the core of it all. Bill was spot on with a few important predictions concerning Wallet PC, since it was capable of really replacing everything you carry with you. You could get messages, see the most recent news, view a different place, and keep track of your calendar, which sounds a lot like a smartphone to me. Bill didn't stop there with his forecasts of the future. He also described how cars will have enormous screens with real-time maps, shoppers would buy products with their phones, and houses would have smart controls. These forecasts mostly came true, but not due to Microsoft, despite Bill's detailed explanation of how a smartphone should function. That proves that even if your predictions about the future are true, it does not necessarily imply that you will win. So everything Zuckerberg has predicted may come true, and we'll all be wearing VR headsets and interacting in virtual worlds. Or Zuck's Meta may end up having nothing to do with it. However, one issue remains. When will the metaverse arrive?